Sausage Party. Look, in a movie titled Sausage Party, uh, what do you expect walking into it? What do you expect? The dick jokes are there, the pussy jokes, the the wiener jokes, the bun jokes are there. The weed jokes because it's the same. It's the Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jonah Hill, the crew from Pineapple Express, Craig Robinson, all those guys. This is the end, and all those other movies that they're in. Same crew, so you know what kind of movie you're in for. Plus, they got like some A-list Hollywood stars. Salma Hayek's in there, Kristen Wiig. I forget which one it is. You also got some other ones. I forgot. Anyway, Sausage Party. The basic plot, fucking a, this is gonna suck, but the basic plot of Sausage Party is that you have like this universe. Okay, it's just a universe in and of itself, and it's known only to the food. Okay, so now the food, they have a culture, right? And the culture is this that us humans are gods to them, and so when we go to the grocery store and we buy the food, we're taken to the food is taken to a place called the Great Beyond. I have a bag here. Move the shit out of the way. Um, so they're taken to a place called the Great Beyond, which for us is just home. And so the basic course of the movie is there's like a sale. It's like a Fourth of July sale, and they're trying to be bought. And next thing you know, that whole group. Though the first trailer, if you saw the first trailer for the movie, that's the basic premise of the movie. It's basically they were bought, and they're just figuring out just horrible shit that humans do. Okay, eat them. But to us, it's just like a natural thing. We're eating. But actually, surprisingly, I thought the movie was going to revolve more around that mom, the MILF. I think the MILF is her actual character name. Look it up. I think she's there. Look it up on IMDb. Let's just call her the MILF, though. I'm pretty sure. I thought the MILF was going to be like an actual major character. I thought she was going to be the main antagonist of the movie. And surprisingly, she's not in it very much. Like she's the one. She's like one of the two adults or like humans that the movie focuses on, but she's not really a big part of it. Like she's the one you saw in the trailer, and she's the one that like gets everyone to realize that okay, being food sucks. It's horrible. So basically, let's get right down to it. I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. Okay, the movie was fun. The problem is, it's like it wasn't consistently funny throughout, in my opinion. Now, when it really tried to be funny, it really was funny, and so I really had a good time with the movie. It's just, you walk into a movie called Sausage Party. What kind of humor do you expect? Like when you consider the crew behind it, like the Seth Rogen crew, I'm just gonna call it the Pineapple Express crew. I'll actually call them that crew, plus the premise of the movie, plus the animation, and you take all three of those into consideration, and you know what you're in for. Okay, like the word "fuck" is overused, in my opinion. It's just like they just throw the word "fuck" at you and shit, and it swears too much for its own good, and I think the swearing actually takes away a little bit of the comedic value because after you swear so much, like you become numb to the word, just like in real life. When you swear so much, or when you hear someone swear so much, and you hear it, like the word "fuck" doesn't even phase you anymore. You know what I mean? It's the kind of same thing here on a comedic value. So they throw on "fuck" too much. I mean, the sex jokes, those are there, but to be honest, the movie, it's less of like a funny movie as it is more of a dirty movie. Does that make sense? I mean, it when it's dirty, it's funny, but it's mostly just like, I don't want to say this without sounding weird, but it's kind of like teasing a little bit. It's like teasing sex jokes. I don't know. It's like a raunch comedy, pretty much, is what it is. It's just an animated raunch comedy with the crew. But surprisingly, it actually had good like it had good social commentary and good social humor comedy. Like the food in their own little self-contained universe and culture, they had their own Hitler. He was like German whiskey or something like that. They have their own Stephen Hawking. They have like their stereotypes, like what type of food they are goes with what character they are. All that shit. And surprisingly, there's a small but sufficient amount of meta humor in the movie. Like when they do talk about their Hitler in the movie, it doesn't stay in that 3D animation that modern animation uses a lot, but it actually switches over to the hand style drawing cartoon animation, you know, or it's still computer animated, but you know what I mean, where it looks like it's cartoon drawn. They actually switch over to animation styles because it's meant to show like history. It's pretty much the translation of the way we see movies now and the way that we used to see movies, where it's nowadays it's like high def, high quality, high resolution film. And back then, when it was actually film and it was black and white, it was grainy. It's like translate that from 3D animation to a drawing animation. You know, it had a lot of meta humor in it, and then there's a scene at the end which goes way fucking meta, but you kind of expect it from that crew. The comedy's there, and you know, I enjoyed the crew. Seth Rogen, you got the main character. His name is Frank, for obvious reasons. And you have Brenda Bunsen. You know, it's the typical. It's what you expect from an animated movie. They're following the rules and the cliches of animated movies to the T, because they're like in a way making fun of it. Not so much they're making fun of it, but you know, it's kind of they're just following the cliches, but they work with it. You know what I mean? So you got like Frank something, Brenda Bunsen. Salma Hayek's character is Teresa Del Taco. You know, it's just stupid shit like that, right? You also got a bagel and a tortilla, I think it was. A tortilla or like flatbread. I forgot. But in the movie, they make fun of that too. Like, no one knows what he is. I think he's a tortilla flatbread. I'm not sure though. But yeah, they find out like there's this whole like their religion or culture is that the gods, us, we take them home, and it's whatever. It's pretty much whatever. It's up to the imagination per food item, you know. There's a character in the movie called Douche. He wants to, and he's actually like personified as a douchebag, you know, like a total tool douchebag, right? And he's like, dude, I'm trying to get in some pussy. I'm trying to get up in there, you know. And he's actually the main antagonist of the food too. The character named Douche. Anyway, so yeah, they find out it's not a fun place. It's a piece of shit place. You don't want to be taken by humans. And I'm actually gonna go into spoiler territory, so I'll have to mark the time right now. There's not really much to spoil with the movie, but just in case, you know, I don't want to spoil too much, even though it's not like a plot-heavy movie. So you've been warned. I'm gonna go into spoiler territory. So basically, the humans, when we take them home, we eat them. That's obvious, okay. But then, you know, you have like your pussy characters. Like, yeah, there's one guy. I think he's voiced by Michael Cera. I'm not sure. There's like one deformed hot dog who's voiced by Michael Cera, and he starts off as a pussy, but then he almost dies, but he doesn't. Jonah Hill's character dies in the movie. It's just like in a way where when they find out that humans eat us, Jonah Hill's hot dog gets stabbed by a knife by the MILF in the movie. Yeah, so anyway, so Michael Cera's hot dog, like, I think it's Michael Cera's, I'm not sure, it's a deformed wiener. He revolts and he finds a way to kill the humans, which basically, in order for us to see the food for the way that they see each other, with like the hands and the gloves and all that shit, like the cartoon animation style, they have to get him on bath salts. And Michael Cera finds it out because I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's. I think it's Michael Cera's character, but I'm gonna feel really awkward. But you'll know what I'm talking about. The deformed wiener. Okay. He finds like a drug addict or like a junkie, I guess, and he follows him home. Like, he follows him as like a different god, so he follows this guy, and he finds out that bath salts are the way to be able to talk to each other. And when bath salts wear off, then you're just food again. You know, you're just food once again. Yeah, so then at the end they revolt, and they in the grocery store. Now I'll let you know this: Seth Rogen and Kirsten Wiig's character, plus on top the tortilla and the bagel, they never leave the store. Like the trailer, the first trailer kind of makes you think that they leave the store. They never do though. And so at the end, basically they kill a bunch of humans. They lock the grocery store down. It's like this new heaven place, or it's like. The Great Beyond is actually in the store without the humans. My favorite character in the movie is it's the Indian rum, I think it was. He's the Indian though. He's like, oh no, it's Hellwater. That's what it is. And he has this one catchphrase in the movie. I don't know why. I fucking love it, but it's pretty much not every time, but someone says an adjective like smart, and the Hellwater or something like that. The Indian character, you'll know who I'm talking about. The Native American Indian is what I mean. He'll say something like, "Yeah, that's smart. Like, fuck a guy smart. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You know, you feel me, or something like that. You know, like he'll just say fuck a guy smart. You know what I mean? He'll just fuck a guy adjective. You know, and I think he's my favorite character in the movie. Um, at the beginning, there's this whole like this whole just like a cart bumps into another cart, and that's how like they get lost in the first place. They get out of their packages, and that's how the whole plot kind of starts there. Um, yeah, and that's kind of the movie. Now the ending of the movie. Oh Jesus, when all the humans are dead, and you think that the movie's like it's gonna get that traditional cliche happy ending. I was not ready for this scene. This scene caught me the fuck off guard. I was not prepared for this at all. You know, like watching the trailer and just looking at the movie title and just listening to all the jokes and all the talk about the sex in the movie, you know that there's going to be like a sex scene between Frank and Brenda, the hot dog and the bun, Seth Rogen and Kirsten Wiig's characters. You know there's going to be a sex scene, and they got the sex scene. But little did I fucking know, like shortly after, I mean, they didn't even finish the sex scene, all the foods join in on like a big orgy. There's a big orgy scene at the end of the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is just way over the top, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know, like, it's not a good or a bad thing. I was not ready for that scene. Okay, um, shit, that was a memorable scene. Let's just say that there's a part where Seth Rogen's hot dog goes through the bun, you know, like sex, and then also goes through the bagel and the tortilla, and they're all fucking, and just it's really graphic, and you'll have to see it to just believe it. But then at the very end of that, there's meta humor, like that whole realization that when they go home or when they go to the great beyond, it's humans just eat them. That's like that whole realization humor. But then they add to that by saying not only is there no such thing as the great beyond, and not only is it like a death trap where we get eaten by these humans, but also we are just 3D animations. We're just an animated movie. You know, it's like, oh Jesus Christ. Now they're talking about the voice actors, like the Indian character. Yes, Frank, you are the product of animation voiced by a human, a real life human named Seth Rogen, and like the smoke pops up and it shows like an actual picture of Seth Rogen, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I like meta humor, but I was like, that's okay. You know, I enjoyed that one. Sausage Party was a fun movie. You walk into the movie, you know exactly what you're in for from the get go. I'm gonna see it again because I actually missed the very beginning. I feel like there was something I missed when I walked in the movie. It was like the opening. It was like the bird's eye view shot of the grocery store, and I feel like there's something before that scene, but we got there a little late, since so I missed some of the movie. But even from then, like they're already swearing and shit, and so you know what you're walking into when you see the movie. Just the problem is, like the humor wasn't consistent, and so I wasn't like laughing my ass off. It just wasn't as funny as I thought it was. It was funny, but just not funny enough to like really have the best time I could have. And plus I wasn't drunk, and I don't even drink, and I wasn't high, and I don't even smoke. So if you're a sober person like me, you might have a good time. You might. I mean, it's kind of like a guy's movie, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not dissing any girls. The girls probably will love this movie too, but like when I say it's a guy movie, it's called Sausage Party. You'll know what I mean. Just by looking at the title, but more so when you see the movie, you'll know what I mean. It's definitely like you can tell a group of guys made this, and just a group of girls also voice acted. You just kind of tell. Yeah, so the humor wasn't consistent enough for me to be laughing my ass off the whole time. There are a few scenes where I did laugh my ass off pretty hard though. It's funny, meta humor, sex humor, social commentary, which I enjoyed the hell out of. A lot of fun characters, a lot of characters that like, based on their food items, you kind of get that that's what they would be like if they were people. Really fun movie. I just wish it was a little bit more consistent on the humor. That's really the only negative I have. Not even the cliches or anything like that, but just I wish it was like more consistent. They stuck to the cliches a little too much when they added like the sad moments. And movies need that in order to be interesting, but even still, I mean, it just wasn't like laugh my ass off funny the whole way through. Other than that, though, it was still a good time. I'm gonna give Sausage Party a 7.5 out of 10. It was a really fun movie. There's not much more I could say about it. I mean, you got the same crew. That was interesting to me though is Seth Rogen actually wants a sequel to the movie, and it actually leaves off on a cliffhanger of sorts. I mean, it's a cliffhanger as it's a movie that's not really focused on plot. And with that being said, they left off on as much of a cliffhanger as that movie could have done, period. And so they actually left off on kind of a cliffhanger. I kind of want to see where that ending was going. I have a feeling the ending pretty much is it's pretty much when they find out that they're just animations and they're just voice acted, but they're not really real things. I feel like they were going to a real life portal, like a portal to real life, and I feel like the movie was actually going to end with just a real actual hot dog, a real bun, a real bagel, tortilla, taco, all the food items of the characters. I feel like it was going to just be them without the faces, without the animation, just a real life depiction of them. And I was kind of hoping for that, but they didn't show what happens on the other side of the portal. Still, though, the movie was fun. I think you're going to have a good time with it. Just word of advice, if you do go and it's your first time, be intoxicated. Just drink or smoke weed or whatever you got to do to just laugh your fucking ass off. Do it, because you're going to need it, okay? It ain't drop dead hilarious if you go in sober, but I still had a good time with it. I would say, based on what I know about drugs, drugs are preferred. So, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Hope you do too, and, don't get too high when you're watching this movie.